In the anime community, we've seen many people put many different characters up against Gojo, and they're usually from popular anime series. But today I'm going to put a twist on it and send a wave of assassins at Teenage Satoru Gojo to see if he can beat them. And since I said Teenage Gojo and Assassin next to it, I think you guys should know what event I'm talking about. So yes, I'll be sending all 6 of these legendary assassins to take out Gojo when he was trying to deliver Rico to Tengen. So strap in, because I'm going to get real in depth with this video. But before I begin the video, if you guys enjoy content like this, you know what to do. Hit that like button and subscribe, as I do post content like this regularly, and to be honest, it's a win-win. You guys show me love and support, and I give back to you in the form of videos. Whether it's Jujutsu Kaisen, other anime, or just fiction in general, I am going to cover it, so be there when I go there. I feel like that's enough of my rambling. Why don't I get straight into the video and see if Gojo could survive these 6 legendary assassins. Now before I power scale anything, I'm going to have to go over the rules, since the rules are very important to this video. First rule is that they'll be entering the exact same way Toji did, and they'll be given the exact same information Toji was given. Now the next one is that they'll be in their primes, but if they were given a certain buff during a certain period of time, it's not going to be counted as that was only a buff for that certain period of time. I'm talking about the actual primes that they actually did work for, and it's actually more concrete for me to scale off of. Now the third rule may be very self-explanatory to most, but I'm going to include it here because it's going to be very integral to the video, and it may diffuse a lot of confusion that may happen inside the comment section. The rule is very simple. They're going to be attacking in their own ways, meaning I'm not going to make them bloodlusted, but since they're assassins, they're naturally going to be that way, but they're going to attack in their own way, meaning they're not going to go straight for the kill if that's not their style. Maybe they want to weaken him down, shred him down, and then deal with him, or maybe they just want to go straight for the kill. It just depends on how they attack their opponent when they're trying to assassinate them. Finally, yes, their mission is to assassinate Rico, but obviously the main fight is there with Gojo, so I'm also going to focus more on Gojo, but yes, the assassins will be focusing on Geto and Rico as well, since they were there. And they won't be given any special tools. The only thing they'll be given is information. So with that being said, when I jump straight into the video to see what would happen if these 6 legendary assassins went after Gojo. Now to begin, I'm going to power scale Gojo and then the assassins, so you know what the bar is for these assassins. Now it's clear that Teen Gojo is far weaker than the one we see today. Everything about him is just overall weaker. His AP, his speed, his techniques, his stamina, just everything overall has been downscaled drastically. I mean, even if we look at his bag isn't that deep. I mean, he does have the 6 eyes and limitless technique and full and blossom of emotion, but that's about it. This Gojo is extremely bare bones. So why don't I start off his scaling by going over his AP. For Gojo's AP, he's usually at around large town level to city level, but here I'm going to downscale him to small town level. And to be honest, this is kind of a highball, as I feel like at this age he should be at around Jogo and other disaster curses level, and that means that he should be around multi-city block level in terms of AP. So if you want to put him at that range, I would not be opposed to it. To be honest, I may actually just stick with this scaling throughout the video, as it does seem way more plausible. Next up we have speed, and Gojo was noticeably slower than Toji. Now you could say that it was because of fatigue, but I personally do believe that Toji was just faster here, and even if Gojo had max stamina, I feel like Toji still would have been able to blitz him at certain points. But I don't think the gap between him and Toji would be too drastic here, so I'll put Gojo at a lightning timer, as I do believe that most JJK characters are lightning timers, since there are a few lightning feats that are more concrete with the series. I know you have the Mark 3 statement and whatnot, but let's be generous here and say that he's a lightning timer. Up next is durability, and well, Gojo was stabbed with a durability negating blade, and then before that he was just stabbed off guard, so we can't really say where his durability is at. I'm gonna assume without cursed energy he's gonna be around building level to like small building level or something like that, but then I'm gonna say that it's going to match his AP when he's actually using his cursed energy to defend himself. So I say he'd be at multi-city block level to then building level, depending on if he has his cursed energy up or if he doesn't. Following Gojo's durability, we have his endurance, and he does have a lot of stamina and can endure a lot of pain. At this point in the series, Gojo had to consciously keep up his infinity, meaning that he had to keep it up for many days straight. And to pair up with it, Gojo does have a high pain tolerance, as he was able to be left in this state and then even come back later. For somebody to leave you in this state and you're able to get back up, even if he did use RCT, it is still very, very impressive. So all of these assassins better be ready to go in for the kill, because if they don't, they're going to be running into a lot of problems. Gojo also has his 6 eyes, but I'm going to explain it more in the hack section. To follow up on Gojo's endurance, we have his battle IQ, and Gojo is smart, but remember, he's still a kid here, and when we saw him fight Toji, he did get very panicky. When Gojo realized he couldn't keep up with Toji, he began to panic and just release all of his abilities. He didn't know what to do, so this is something we're gonna have to factor in for the fights. And so lastly, we have his hacks, and his hacks here are far less complicated as they are when you get later on inside the story. To begin, we have his limitless Tennikin is far less OP here, as his red and blue are still very underdeveloped and his affinity needs to be manually controlled, meaning you can literally outright blitz him through it. Now as you can see here, Gojo used to do it by cursed energy, and nobody here has cursed energy, so this is going to be very rough for him. In the video, there's only one person with some sort of special energy. Everybody else has no sort of special energy about them, so this is going to be very hard for Gojo to counter. And when I cover that person, I'm going to obviously see how cursed energy and their type of energy will interact, but for now, let's just push him to the side and continue on with Gojo's hacks. And I'm pretty sure everybody knows how blue and red works, but red is like a blast that repels everything and blue attracts everything. Now I'm assuming everybody knows how infinity works, but if you don't, it basically all it does is just half the space in front of Gojo, allowing things to basically never reach him. There are a few things that could get through it, but nobody in the video has it, so what's the point of me even talking about it? And so finally we have his Fallen Blossom emotion, and it's a way to avoid domains, but I mean nobody here has a domain, so what's the point of me even explaining it? Now I just want to add that if any of these assassins leave Gojo alive, there is a massive possibility that he could awaken, but I don't think any of them are going to leave him alive since all of them are trained to just straight up kill you on the spot. So I don't think that's going to be necessary here, but just know that it is a possibility. But with that being said, we're done with Gojo's scaling, so why don't we get into the assassins and see if they can beat him. Now the first assassin we'll be covering will be Wolverine, and this is going to be Fox's movie version of Wolverine. So we'll be including everything up until Deadpool and Wolverine. Why? Because that Wolverine is from a completely different universe. Now since there are many characters in this video, expect me to go over their main abilities that will pertain to this battle. All the extra stuff will not be discussed. And so since the exposition is out of the way, let's get into Logan's scaling. To begin, we have his AP, and Logan is pretty good as he was able to take blasts from fake Deadpool and even was able to puncture Jean Grey. This at least scales him to large town level or small city level. For speed, he should be relativistic or even light speed due to fake Deadpool's lasers, since he was able to react to and keep up with them in X-Men Origins. For his durability, Wolverine can take powerful blows from people like Lady Deathstroke and more. Just like his AP, I'm going to make this large town level to small city level. Now this is excluding the fact that he has an indestructible skeleton. The large town level to small city level durability is for attacks that will knock him out, not what he'll get killed by, since as we know, he has a really important hacks, and as I just said, he does have an indestructible skeleton that I'm going to get into later. So to follow up on his durability, we have his endurance. And do I even need to get into this? I mean, he's pretty much immortal. That's why I'm going to only keep his fight to being knocked out, not killed, because I doubt anybody's killing him anytime soon unless they just erase him. Next up we have Logan's battle IQ, and due to the style of this video, it's going to be extremely handy, so why not I dive headfirst into it. Logan has been in countless, and I mean countless wars. Every important war plus mutant wars in the past 200 years he's been in, meaning he's extremely resourceful and has literally hundreds of years of experience. As we know, in X-Men Origins he was a part of an assassin's group, and even in the comics he's been an assassin for a little bit. He's very well versed, and this knowledge of being an assassin is going to help him out drastically in this video. Logan is extremely familiar with cases like this, so he's going to be able to hunt down Gojo and do what he needs to do very easily. And so this makes his battle IQ extremely high and damn near the best on this list. Next up is his hacks, and Logan has far too many hacks in the movies, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to shorten it down to the hacks that really matter. And so to list them all out, we have his extremely enhanced senses, a rage mode where he goes berserk and can go on a rampage, his healing factor that makes him damn near immortal, and his adamantium skeleton and claws. These aren't all of Logan's abilities, but these are the ones that are definitely going to matter the most, so why don't I get straight into the battle and see how Gojo would fare up against Wolverine. Now Logan would definitely appear the exact same way Toji did, as he has no cursed energy and would definitely appear behind him and slash at him. Now the difference between Logan and Toji is the fact that Logan is far faster than Toji, but he doesn't have Toji's inverted Spirit of Heaven. So Logan has to land attacks on him and deal with him swiftly before Gojo can put his infinity up. And so the first question you need to ask yourself is whether Logan's first move will be a killing move. Now in the movies it is extremely common for him to go for somebody's chest for some reason. I think it's mainly due to the PG-12 stuff, so he doesn't go for somebody's head, but he usually goes for somebody's chest, and as we know, Gojo can survive that. Meaning he's gonna have to obviously land a few more blows, which he definitely can before he can put his infinity up, but would he be able to deal with Gojo before he does it? it's 50-50. If you believe that Logan is gonna go straight for the head, then yes, it's an instant win in his favor. But obviously if he doesn't and Gojo is able to survive, I do believe that things may play out damn near the exact same as it does in canon with Toji. The only difference is that Logan's going to be way faster and Gojo's going to be panicking even more. And Logan's senses could be argued to be above somebody like Toji's as well. So when you factor everything in, it just doesn't look good for Gojo, and after a while he's gonna obviously slow down and stuff, and Logan's just gonna be able to get him since his stamina is damn near infinite. And so after that, he's then gonna go after Rico and Geto, and they're done. And even if you want to factor in that Geto and Rico could run away to Tengen, Wolverine's not gonna allow that to happen. He knows that Rico is his main priority, so he's going to be like, yeah, I'll do with Gojo, but don't worry Rico, you're not going anywhere. So he's going to close them in, and since he's so fast, it's going to be hard for them to do anything. And so if Geto tries to get involved, as I said before, he's getting annihilated. And so yeah, put this W up on the board for Wolverine, allowing us to segue into our next bout. Next up is Deathstroke, and he's going to be from the Arkham games, and he's pretty easy to scale. As he is extremely comparable to Batman from the Arkham games, who's surprisingly strong for a Batman, he's around small building level for his AP. For speed, Deathstroke is around Supersonic Plus, as he's comparable to a Batman who was able to blitz gunmen without them even realizing. Due to his AP being small building level, he should be around small building level in terms of his durability as well. For Deathstroke's endurance, even if his missions are meant to be swift, he is trained to endure a lot of pain and fight for prolonged periods of time, making him a master at fighting overall. Up next we have his main stat, and that's his battle IQ, and Deathstroke is one of the highest level assassins inside of DC. The best way for me to explain Wade's battle IQ is the fact that he's comparable to Batman. If you know anything about Batman, you know that he's one of the smartest fighters inside of DC, meaning Deathstroke is up there as well. And so lastly, we're going to get into his weapons, since he doesn't have any hacks. So his weapons are very easy to understand. He has a stun grade, a multitude of bombs, guns, and his two trusty swords. And so with that being said, why don't I see if Deathstroke can take down Gojo. Now to begin, Wade would definitely snipe Gojo, but with this kill Gojo, whoa, he did survive a stab wound to the head by Toji. Now you could say that he's gonna go straight for the brain, but technically Gojo's head should be stronger than the bullet. So what really would happen here? Well, this forces Deathstroke to get in close, and even somebody like Geto should be able to disband of him pretty easily, as JJK characters are way faster than him. Even if you want to say they're Mark III, they should be on the exact same speed as him, but their AP is just a little bit higher than his, making this mission damn near impossible for Deathstroke. This mission is to get rid of Rico. Would he be able to get rid of Rico? Definitely, but he's going to die after, so yeah. Unfortunately, even if Wade is a great assassin, he just doesn't have the feats to stack up against these guys, so he does take the L, meaning Gojo does get a dub here. Now up next on the list is Hero Killer Stain. Now I've already covered his scaling on the channel up against Toji, but why don't I just cover it again? Stain's AP should be around city levels. He's able to do some good damage to Deku, who was taking smashes from All Might, who destroyed the city in one punch. For his speed, he should be light speed or FTO, as he's able to blitz Deku, Todoroki, and Ida, who is faster than Ashido, who casually dodged Aoyama's light beam. For his durability, I'd say is equal to his AP, as he's able to take an off-guard blow from Deku and then a combined attack from Ida and Deku. And remember, this is the exact same Deku who was able to damage or weakened All Might. And remember, this is the exact same All Might that was able to destroy a city in one punch. I mean, I don't think it's too far-fetched for me to put 2 and 2 together. For his endurance, even with both of his lungs punctured, Stain was able to get up and intimidate people like Endeavor and many other heroes. And to be honest, he hasn't been shown to fight for a long period of time, but he didn't seem to have that much trouble keeping up with 3 UA students. So I'd say his stamina is pretty decent. Next up is his battle IQ, and his battle IQ is extremely high, as he was able to even school Deku, Todoroki, and Ida at the exact same time while fighting them. Though this is pretty early on, Class 1A students, especially these 3, are extremely smart, so the fact that he's able to do this so casually is extremely impressive. And so finally we're going to get onto his hacks, and it's mainly going to include his quirk. Stain's quirk is called Blood Curdle, and the moment he's able to lick even a drop of your blood, he puts you down instantly. This ability was so powerful that people like All For One had to prep for it. Another ability he does have is being able to put his will onto other people. Now he's only done this when he's on the verge of losing or passing out, so I don't know if he can regularly do this, but if he's pushed to that point, he will definitely use it. And so with that being said, let's get into the fight. Now I expect Stain to enter the exact same way Toji does, with stabbing Gojo through the chest. Now the reason I'm saying he won't go for his throat or the head is because Stain is somebody that likes to keep his victims alive. I mean, we saw this with the native hero that was next to Todoroki and all of them, and so this leads me to think that yes, he does kill his opponents, but he does this after probably monologuing to them or something. Now once Gojo is down, he's gonna then deal with Geto and Rico, and they're gonna go down instantly since he's going to be far faster than, meaning that they are going to get blitzed. Geto is not going to be able to release no cursed spirits, no nothing. And so now what happens? Well, he can kill Rico and he can kill Geto, but what about Gojo? Well, Gojo's going to be lying there, bleeding out. I mean, he's going to be able to get up after a while, but then the thing is that you then have to factor in, would Stain be able to just straight up blitz him the moment he gets up, or will Gojo keep his infinity up, meaning it's just going to be a standstill until Gojo realizes, okay, I either need to learn RCT, or I'm just going to die here. And either way, it's a 50-50 matchup. It depends on how you see it. And you could say, oh no, but Hero Killer Stain could just go straight in for the kill. And if that's how you want it to go, it can go that way. But as we've seen inside the story, he does like to keep his victims alive for a little bit. So how would it play out? I think it's a draw. Now the reason I say this is a draw is because even if Gojo does awaken, he's still not going to be able to hit Stain. Stain is way faster than him. So at this point, it just comes to a standstill. So that makes it a draw for this round, or a win for Stain if you believe Stain can just deal with Gojo or somehow bypass his infinity due to his speed and Gojo not be able to put it up in time. And so with that being said, why don't I move into the next matchup? Next up we have Kiritsugu Emiya, and he is one of my favorite characters in fiction, so why don't I cover him with care. For his AP, Kiritsugu should be around small building levels due to him being able to fight Kirei. Now, honestly, we could scale him higher, but remember, this is Kirei from Fate Zero, not Kirei from Stay Night, so he doesn't get that massive upscale. Due to his speed, he should be around FTL due to his Accel magic, which he uses masterfully in battle. For his durability, it should be the exact same as his AP, meaning his small building level, and for his endurance, he's able to fight for long periods of time, and especially due to Avalon, he's able to take a lot of attacks and even use Accel a lot. Now when I get into his hacks section, I'm going to go over Accel and how it could impact his stamina and a lot of other things about his fighting. But don't worry, we're going to get to that in a minute. Up next is Battle IQ, and Kiritsugu has been trained since he was a child. I mean, he literally hunts Magi for a living, so he's essentially the Fate version of Toji. Now, the difference between the two of them is the fact that Toji is far less ethical than Kiritsugu. Kiritsugu is a totally different guy when it comes down to ethics and whatnot. But I'm not here to compare those two, so why don't I get into his hacks. Now for Kiritsugu's hacks, he has a plethora of hacks, but I'm only going to cover the ones that are going to be useful for this fight. Due to him being a Magi, I'm going to expect him to be able to see cursed spirits since he does have that spiritual awareness about him. And so this will definitely be able to give him an upper hand up against somebody like Geto who uses cursed spirits. Kiritsugu also has a deep bag of guns, but he mainly uses handguns and a few other weapons that he does keep on him. He's also a master at hand-to-hand combat, and so why not I go into his Accel, which is extremely busted. Now Accel allows him to manipulate time on a very small scale, but in exchange for it, it severely harms his body. But luckily, since it's Fate Zero, Kiritsugu does have Avalon, which allows him to use it a lot more often. And the reason I keep bringing up Avalon is because Avalon passively heals you. And so Avalon is a massive help with him using Accel. And moving on from Accel, we're going to get into his last hacks, or just thing that he can use, and that's the origin bullets. These bullets ignore any type of special defense you may put up and damage your nerves. Now the reason these bullets are going to be so important to this video is because it depends on how you view cursed energy and obviously magic from Fate. And since the origin bullet is going to impact this fight so much, why don't I just jump into the versus battle and see how Kiritsugu fares. Now the reason I say that the origin bullet is so important to this fight is because if it hits Gojo, technically Gojo should never be able to use cursed energy again, meaning he's done for on the spot. That goes for Geto as well. If it hits Geto, he's down for the count as well. And so here is where I'm now going to give you two options. Do you believe that cursed energy and magic are going to interact with each other well, meaning that Gojo is going to be able to sense Kiritsugu, is that the same way Kiritsugu is going to sense Gojo? Or do you believe that magic and cursed energy just don't interact at all? If you've watched Fate, you'll know that magic and cursed energy are kind of similar. Like, you could say that, yeah, they should be able to interact with each other. Meaning, if the origin bullet is able to be shot, and Gojo's just going to look at it and be like, oh, it's just a bullet coming towards me, I think he's going to stop it, and then next thing he knows, it pierces him and it shoots him right in the head or just anywhere in his body, he's pretty much done, since he's putting a lot of cursed energy into his infinity, meaning it's just going to backfire on him. The exact same thing may happen with Geto as well. Now, if you want to see the origin bullet doesn't work here, Well, Kiritsugu's going to go for that first move, and he's not going to be able to do much because he doesn't have enough AP to deal with Gojo. So this is going to be a 50-50 fight. It depends on how you see Kurt's energy and magic interacting with each other. Either goes with Gojo being shot instantly and he's down, or it goes for Kiritsugu obviously racing around them, trying to do many different things. Maybe he can take out Rico, but aside from that, he's done after that. And yeah, they basically defeat him. So it's a 50-50 fight, meaning I'm going to make this one a draw. And so next up we have the Merc with a mouth, and that's Deadpool. Just like Wolverine, Deadpool is going to be from the movies, meaning we will only be counting Deadpool 1, 2 and Deadpool and Wolverine. X-Men Origins Deadpool does not exist unless I'm using him to upscale Wolverine. We're not using that Deadpool here, I'm sorry to tell you. So to begin his scaling, let's go over his AP. Now he is shockingly low, as for some reason Deadpool in the movies doesn't do anything impressive in terms of AP, meaning he's going to be wall level to small building level in terms of AP. For his speed, he's going to be hypersonic plus due to Cable and feats inside of Deadpool and Wolverine. Now for his durability and endurance, there is a scene at the end of the Deadpool and Wolverine movie where they do something crazy. I'm not going to say exactly what happens because I still believe that a few people may not have seen it yet, but essentially something really crazy happens and I don't think anybody has calced it properly yet, so I'm not going to use it. And another reason I'm not going to use it as well is because he was given assistance by Wolverine, and then on top of that, it's way too crazy for this Deadpool since he doesn't do anything remotely close to that, even in the exact same movie like 30 minutes before it. So I'm not going to use his feat since, as I said at the start of the video, if it's something that they do once and they never do it again and it isn't really like, it doesn't line up to how they usually scale, I'm not going to use it. So I'm gonna basically say that his durability is around wall level to small building level. Now Wade's endurance is great. He can regenerate and fight for a long period of time, but the only bad thing about this Wade is the fact that his regeneration is far slower than it is in the comics and even a few games that he's in. While he won't be regenerating from crazy attacks, he will be regenerating here and there, but he'll mainly be relying on his stamina. Next up is his battle IQ, and just like everybody else on this list, Wade is extremely smart and is basically tailor-made for this situation. And so finally we have his hacks, and we've already talked about his regeneration, so why don't I talk about his weapons. In the new movie he was given new guns and he was given 2 adamantium swords. As I said before, adamantium can pierce basically anything and is practically indestructible. And so with that being said, why don't I get into the fight. If this were comic Deadpool, he'd do this without even trying, but movie Deadpool, yeah, he tried going for the attack. I mean, he could cut Gojo, but the thing is that he's far too slow, so even if he's able to sneak up on him, Gojo's gonna feel it and he's gonna be like, ah, okay, and he's gonna put his affinity up, and then yeah, it's just done from there. It's a shame how low this Deadpool scales to, and it's a shame that it's not the exact same Wolverine from his universe that he's able to go up against, since if it was that Wolverine that he obviously fought inside the movie, then I'll be able to upscale him drastically and he would be able to get this done, but that is not the case, meaning he scales extremely low. And so with that being said, why don't I segue into our final battle of the video. Lastly, we have probably the most controversial fight in the video, and that's Taro Sakamoto. Now to begin, we're gonna go over his AP, and he should be around city block level, as Sakamoto is able to do this, and in his prime, Sakamoto should be around him in strength, allowing him to do that as well. Now just like with every other new gen, speed inside of Sakamoto there is extremely contentious, for reasons I still don't know. I mean, Kindaka was wearing light speed shoes, it was stated to be light speed shoes, and it really does look like he's moving at light speed, and obviously as we know, over time he's then able to catch him, and yeah, this basically allows us to scale Sakamoto at light speed or even faster than light. Following up on his speed, we have his durability, and since he only uses raw strength, we can say his durability is equal to his AP, meaning he is city block level. Up next we have his endurance, and Sakamoto is trained to fight for long periods of time, even if he's meant to be an assassin that's meant to just do his job quickly. And on top of that, he's able to take a large sum of damage and get back up. The best display of this is inside the exhibition arc, but I do believe that as the series goes on, we're going to see it even more and more. So for now, I'm just going to keep him at, yeah, he's got really good endurance. And so following up his amazing endurance, we have his battle IQ, and just like everybody here, this is his most important stat and it's his best stat. Sakamoto is a trained assassin, and at one point he was known as the greatest assassin, meaning he doesn't play around, and as we've seen inside the series, he can instantly take people out. Now the only thing is that since he's gotten married, he's chilled out on that, so he doesn't kill, but we're using Prime Sakamoto here, so yeah, he will be killing. And for his hacks, well, the only thing he can do is go from fat Janemba to skinny Janemba. I mean, is it even really going to be used in this fight? The only other thing I could say that he does have in his, in quotation marks, hack section is the fact that he can use every weapon that's at his disposal, and that is what makes him extremely dangerous. But with that being said, I feel like I've covered everything I need to cover with Sakamoto, so why don't I get into the fight in Simulator? Now this fight is going to go by extremely fast. Sakamoto is far faster than him, so what he's going to do, he's going to obviously sneak up on Gojo, take him out instantly, as we know he does go for killing blows, then go to Geto, then to Rico, and he's done. Sakamoto can easily do this due to his speed and his AP being in their ballpark, and because they're going to have their guards down, yeah, this gives him the perfect opportunity to get rid of him. And so this makes him the winner, allowing us to segue into the conclusion of this video. So to conclude, Gojo beats 2 people here definitively, that being both of the weights. Then he draws to Stain and Kiritsugu, and depending on how you view their fights, you could say that Stain and Kiritsugu can win, and then he definitively loses to Sakamoto and Wolverine, making this 2-2-2 or 4-0-2. So yeah, I really did enjoy making this video. Hope you guys enjoyed watching it. This is probably one of my more longer videos. I know I've uploaded like what, 2-hour-long videos or damn near, but on the editing side, where I'm actually sitting down and editing it properly, yeah, this is probably one of my longer videos, and I did enjoy making this, as I just said. If you guys want more content like this, you know what to do. Drop some suggestions down below, or just like say, yeah, I want to see more of this, and I will drop more of it. So yeah, I hope you guys have a lovely day. Hope your 2025 is going great already, and yeah, I shall see you guys in the next video. Goodbye.